Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we are running through 10 career revivals you didn't see coming this season. Let's get started. 10. David De Gea. It's worth remembering that the back end of the 2020-21 season was incredibly difficult for David De Gea. Coming towards the end of his 10th season with Man United, personal issues and a dramatic loss in form had seen him lose his spot in the starting 11 to Dean Henderson, with the Englishman starting 10 of the Red Devils' final 12 league games. The former Atleti man then had to deal with the ignominy of missing the decisive penalty in United's Europa League final shootout against Villarreal. To return and become one of only two players alongside Lloris to play every Premier League minute thus far, effectively forcing Dean Henderson towards the Old Trafford exit door, is impressive enough, but to get back to his 2017-18 best simply wasn't expected. Whilst his 8 clean sheets, 12th in the Premier League, might sound average, when you factor in his 122 saves, 5th in Europe, it begins to sound a bit more special. Only 4 keepers in Europe prevented more expected goals than the 45-cap Spaniard. If it wasn't for him, United's car crash season would have been even worse. 9. Craig Dawson. When Craig Dawson was relegated twice in 3 years with West Brom and Watford, it appeared the Rochdale-born centre-back was destined for a career alternating between the Premier League and the Championship. But under 2 years on from a poor final season with the Hornets, Dawson has become a vital member of David Moyes' brilliant West Ham side. Their hopes of a first major trophy in 42 years might have been extinguished across a slightly flat 2 legs against Eintracht Frankfurt, but the fact they have a chance of finishing above an expensively assembled Man United with 1 game to go speaks volumes of Moyes' work. Whilst his signings of Souček, Soufal and Zuma have rightly been praised this season, Dawson has expertly filled the breach left by the injured Ogbonna. This season he's completed just shy of 70% of his tackles, and while he might not be the most progressive passer, his aerial threat makes him a handful in the opposition penalty area, with 4 goals in the league and Europe, including a vital one away at Lyon. The Championship to the edge of the Europa League final in 20 months, Dawson certainly deserves this spot. 8. Benjamin Borja. Rennes right winger Benjamin Borja's career was certainly not underappreciated by those in northern France prior to this season. After all, the Lens Academy graduate who can play centrally or on the left too, had only missed 19 league games across the previous 4 seasons, and had got into double figures for goals and assists 3 times. But there is no doubt that 21-22 was the campaign in which awareness around the 5'10" winger, whose transfer market valuation has never risen above its current level of £13.5 million, grew outside of Ligue 1. One of just 7 players in France to have contributed over 20 league goals, with his 12 assists at the time of writing only topped by 7 players in Europe's top 5 leagues, Borja's numbers have begun to stand out on a continental level. No player in Europe has created more than his 120 chances, with Ikomuniain and Payet the only others to top 100, and his non-penalty expected goals and assists per 90 ratio of 0.5 puts him above season performers like Dybala, Angel Correa and Bruno Fernandes. Linked with Lazio, Leicester and Wolves, don't be surprised to see Borja's epic campaign bookended by a summer move. 7. Usman Dembele. Rewind to January 2022, just 4 months ago, and Usman Dembele's Barcelona career seemed dead in the water. The Blaugrana had desperately spent the final hours of the winter window trying to generate interest in the right winger, with President Laporta claiming he is better than Mbappe, and Xavi arguing he could be the best in the world in his position. Once the 5-time European champions record signing, inconsistent performances, persistent injury issues, and a questionable attitude had the club desperate to offload his reported €250,000 per week wages. But despite rumoured interest from PSG and the Premier League, the 27-cap Frenchman stayed, and thank goodness he did. 9 assists and 1 goal in his first 13 appearances after deadline day, which included 2 assists in their 4-0 Clásico win, helped secure Barcelona Champions League football, something that appeared unlikely in November. And to complete the turnaround, Xavi has held up the Frenchman as an example of professionalism, saying recently he does not even have a contract. What a revival. 6. Ivan Perisic. To say that Perisic played a bit-part role in Inter Milan's title-winning campaign isn't accurate. Returning from a year spent on loan with Bayern Munich where his 8 goals and 10 assists played a part in Bayern's treble-winning campaign, he split minutes at left wing-back with Ashley Young the following season, starting 20 league games to the Englishman's 16. But the return of the former Man United player to these shores and the arrival of Simone Inzaghi has seen Perisic become a vital cog in the Nerazzurri's title challenge. Despite recently turning 33, Perisic has started all but 3 of Inter's fixtures, and returned 7 goals and 7 assists, his best since 2017-18. If Inter somehow managed to wrestle back control from rivals Milan, it looks pretty unlikely. It'll be in large part down to the Croatian, who has 5 assists and 2 goals in his last 8 games. With his completed take-ons per 90 at their highest point in 5 years, and his 1.7 key passes per 90 his best since 2018-19, it's no surprise the former Wolfsburg man has kept out one of the best left wing backs in the world, Gosens, out of the team. 5. Musa Dembele. Ask any Atletico Madrid fans what they think about Musa Dembele, and we doubt they will have anything positive to say. After joining them on the 13th of January 2021, the 25-year-old struggled to adapt to Simeone's system and contracted COVID. After joining on the 13th of January 2021, the 25-year-old struggled to adapt to Simeone's system and contracted COVID, meaning he didn't make his debut for 37 days. The former Celtic man was only entrusted with 140 League and Champions League minutes, during which he failed to find the net. And unsurprisingly, they didn't take up their €33.5 million option to buy. To say he's answered the critics would be a spectacular understatement. Despite playing for a frustratingly inconsistent Lyon side whose current standing of 8th would be their worst league finish since 95-96, Dembele has scored 20 and assisted 4 in 29 league games. His average of a goal contribution every 88 minutes is only topped by Kylian Mbappe in Ligue 1. With 1 year remaining on his contract, it will be interesting to see whether that perceived failure in Madrid puts off potential suitors this summer. 4. Carlo Ancelotti. This time last year, Ancelotti was licking his wounds after a demoralising 1-0 defeat at home to Sheffield United, continuing Everton's run of 2 wins in 10 games as they slipped towards a disappointing 10th place finish. Fast forward a year and Ancelotti has a La Liga winners medal around his neck, becoming the first manager to win all of Europe's top 5 leagues, has a Champions League final to look forward to, and has been smoking cigars on double-decker buses. He's managed to coax Karim Benzema into Ballon d'Or form, converted the previously wasteful Vinicius Jr. into one of the most lethal finishers in world football, and managed to seamlessly evolve Real's defence in the post-Ramos Varane era. Los Blancos might not have been at their swashbuckling best, but they've still scored 12 more goals than closest challengers Barcelona, and conceded 5 fewer at the time of writing. Factor in a miraculous Champions League run that saw them score an improbable 14 goals in 6 games to vanquish PSG, holders Chelsea and Pep's Man City to reach an 18th final, and it's been one hell of a season. Well done, Don Carlo. 3. Joel Matip. It's worth remembering that although this is Joel Matip's 6th year with Liverpool, his standing within the team hasn't always been as high as it is now. Although he is yet to hit 30 league games in a single season, he has topped 2,500 league minutes for the first time, bouncing back from 2 frustrating campaigns in which Joe Gomez's excellent form and recurrent injury issues limited him to just 17 Premier League starts. This time he's been essential though, ranking 6th in the squad for league minutes, with a series of composed displays going a long way to Liverpool winning 22 of the 29 games he's featured in to date. Whilst Klopp has generally favoured the more mobile Konate in the Champions League, Matip has outshone his French counterpart domestically, completing 83% of his tackles and 68% of his aerial duels, 6% and 3% more than Konate respectively. In fact, with Van Dijk having endured a slow start to the season on return from that ACL injury, there's an argument that Matip has been Klopp's most consistent centre-back all season. 2. Marco Silva. Out of work for 18 months after being sacked by Everton, Marco Silva was an intriguing choice by Fulham in July 2021. Whilst he had gained plaudits for trying to introduce a possession-based style at Hull and Watford, he'd infuriated the Hornets by openly flirting with Everton during his final months at Vicarage Road, and only took 42 points from his final 38 games in charge on Merseyside, and was fired with them languishing in the relegation zone. In truth, getting Fulham promoted isn't the hardest of jobs, with Jokanovic and Scott Parker managing it in the last 4 completed seasons, and the club contained £158 million worth of talent, £33 million more than second place Bournemouth. But to do it in the manner they have deserves enormous respect. They've scored a remarkable 106 goals, just 2 short of Man City's record set in 2001-2, including at least 4 on 11 separate occasions, with Carvalho and Wilson getting into double figures, and Mitrovic finishing with a scarcely believable 43 goals. If he can succeed where Jokanovic, Ranieri and Parker failed, and establish the Cottagers as a Premier League side once again, his redemption arc will truly be complete. 1. Granit Xhaka. Football Daily's take on Granit Xhaka, unlike a lot of Arsenal's fanbase, has been pretty consistent for a while now. Yes, he has flaws, namely his lack of agility, which often makes him look clumsy when turning with the ball, but he has clear strengths too, namely the control, leadership and undeniable passing ability he offers the Gunners. After featuring in 4 of Arsenal's first 14 league games of the season due to a red card suspension and a knee ligament issue, he has slowly gone about winning over the Emirates faithful. With Partey having missed the end of the season, Xhaka was forced to return to a more defensive role, and helped Marshall Arteta's side to 4 consecutive wins, including victories over Chelsea and Man United, prior to their end-of-season capitulation. With no Arsenal player getting more passes into the final third, and Odegaard the only one to get more into the penalty area, if Arteta decides to bench Xhaka next season in favour of transfer target Tielemans, he might notice a drop in attacking fluency. So guys, that was our rundown of 10 career revivals you didn't see coming. Which one did you most enjoy this season? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like it and subscribe to Football Daily, and I'll catch you next time.